Hello guys, my name is Annette and the channel is dedicated to all the things I love and care about, starting with astrology and relationships. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, yada yada, all the good stuff. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and teach you a quick little tactic on how to read your own astrology natal chart and how to use it to your own advantage. So this is beginners. This is only for people who just started learning. But even if you're a veteran or you're an expert, I still think you could benefit from this. Just a smidge. So anyways, so you pull up your astrology natal chart and it's a circle or it's a square, depending on what system you're studying. Vedic, tropical, yada yada, whatever. But at the end of the day, you see 12 houses. So each, the astrology natal chart is composed of 12 houses, and each house is ruled by a sign, and then each sign is ruled by a planet. So how can I use this to my advantage? How can I, let's get to it and be struggling a little bit and want to get some clarity. I could do with a little bit of advice or whatever, you know? So let's say my name is Peter and I am struggling with finances and budgeting, just a smidge, you know, I just can't seem to be able to get afloat. Like, what am I doing wrong? So in that case, you would go ahead and look at the second house in astrology. And in my case, my name is Peter, it's ruled by Taurus. So that means that I have to start changing my approach to money. I have to start approaching money in a more Taurian kind of way. And that would be in a more slow and calculated way. That would mean that I would have to become a little bit more conscious when it comes to saving. Maybe save more than what I need, just to feel stable and build that stability. And when it comes to making big purchases or things that involve me wasting big amounts of money, I have to really think about this not once, two, maybe 3, 4 times before I go ahead and make that action. Because that's how Tauruses act when it comes to money. They're slow and calculated. They think of what it's going to look like in their mind several times before they go ahead and take action. Not only that, but if me as Peter, my second house is ruled by Taurus, it's an empty house. There's nothing else there. Well, then I would go ahead and look at the ruling planet of that, which is Venus, and see where Venus is placed. Let's say Venus is placed in the 9th house or in the 6th house of serving others. Then that means that I would have to be able to be working in an industry that serves others when it comes to their beauty. Granted, that can be so many things. That could be exercising, that could be Botox, that could be cutting hair, that could be promoting anything that has to do with health or fitness, because that's promoting things that have to do with beauty and physical things and health. So anything related to beauty and health, because that's what Venus is all about. Venus is about beauty, appearances, and the 6th house is all about health and routines. So you combine Taurus with Venus in the 6th house, then boom, that's your recipe for money. At least in this case, me being Peter. Let's say, that could be another good example. Let's say you are young, you're ready to take over the world, and you're just aspiring all these goals and whatnot when it comes to your career. But you're more of a fast learner. You're impatient. So in that case, I would highly recommend looking at your astrology natal chart before you go picking up a college or school or trying to figure out what's best for you. Because if you're more of a person who's impatient and you're quick, let's go, going to a four-year university might not be the best course of action. Yeah, you might end up still doing somewhat okay, but you may also just end up dropping out because you're impatient and you end up having lots of delays and challenges, versus if you would have just taken a short course or a technical course that's a few months, maybe a year, you're boom, let's go, and then you can build your foundation from the bottom up. Because see, not everybody learns the same way. You know, there I could like give a million different examples, but that's just one of them, you know. So when it comes to, yeah, going to school or like picking what career you want, looking at your ninth house of higher learning would probably be a very good idea because that way you know what works best for you and in what way you can achieve your goals and inspirations faster. Like what's the short road rather than like the long going through a bunch of hurdles and just like, why are things aren't working out? Why do I have 3 degrees under my belt and I still haven't really done much with my life? Like, you know, I mean, I've met people like this, and one look at their chart, I would have been like, this is what you should be doing, or this is what you should try instead of that or that, you know? People learn in different ways. People have a different way of, the way people put their energy out, it can be quite not only the way people put energy out, but what motivates them to do things is quite different. For some, it's a 4-year college. For others, it's more like, let's go, something quick, all right? And then somehow that like turns something in their brain and it makes them like more creative or more inspired. And then they're like, all right, now I want to go to college. But see, if they would have ended up going to college at 18, it would have been like, not a disaster. It would have taken longer. You know, there's just so many examples. But this is an easy way for you to start learning about your astrology natal chart. You pull up this beautiful thing, you look at the 12 houses, you look at the signs, and each sign rules a certain section of life. And that's what my next video will be about, if you don't know what each house is all about. But for example, in this video, I used the 2nd house, which is a house of values and money. So you would look at the house if you're trying to figure things out about budgeting and money related stuff. And the 9th house, which is a house of higher learning and education, and that's what you will look at if you're trying to figure out what's the easiest way or what comes more naturally to you when it comes to learning and higher education. Simply, beautifully put. So this concludes this video. I hope you liked it. Of course, if you like a reading by yours truly, I'll put the link down below. You can copy and paste it in the browser, and stay tuned for the other videos.